What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today we have Subaru from ReZero. This is a Patreon request from Dave on Patreon, one of my awesome patrons. I think I have 16 patrons or something now. You guys rock. Anyone else wants to sign up to Patreon, if you can afford it, head on over. You can request whatever you like. I'll draw anything you want. I'll draw anything for Patreon. Well, apart from like 16 characters all on one page. I can't do that. Sharpies won't let me do that. So it would be prohibitively long. But any like single characters or maybe double characters, stuff like that. So if you can afford it, head over to Patreon. So this one's from Dave, right? So Dave recently told me that he likes complicated poses. So he doesn't like just straightforward portraits. I know they're easier. That's why I do a lot of them, because a lot of people on here would be beginners trying to practice. But for this one, for Dave, just for you, Dave, well, sometimes I do complicated ones, but we're going to do Subaru in the kind of most complicated pose I could find of him. That wasn't like in a tuxedo or that dancing pose that he does. So it's kind of big hand coming up. He's like trying to grab something. It's from a poster, I think. So I'm on a landscape page, pencil eraser, hip pause if I go too fast. So we start with his eyes. His eyes like in the middle. His head is like off center to the left a little bit, right? So I'm going to start with his top eyelid. So we'll curve our line. I think my Sharpie's wasted, but we'll change it now. We'll just curve this line across. Like that. No, it's not too bad. And we will thicken this up, right? So we'll go just across the top. And in ReZero, it's kind of pointy at the end. And they add like an extra line coming out here. Okay. The rest of his eyes, so we got an eyelid line coming down this way, thinner one, and then on the bottom, it's coming across here. Sometimes they join together, sometimes they don't, so it's kind of up to you what way you want to do that. Okay, so that's kind of what we're dealing with for his eye, the shape. Iris oval. Not a circle, one of those long eyes. And then his pupil in the middle. Just there. So he has like some stress lines around his eye in this. And an eyelid line just here. Another line there and something else there. His eyebrow just above, curves around, goes up. They're kind of short. They go. Normally characters' eyebrows go further than the eye, but his don't. So there, and we just thicken up this side. Like that, and the line that way. So we go over and do the other eye. So you do the same thing again. We're about eye distance over, so like the width of his eye will fit in between. We're kind of in proportion. So this will fit in here, and that's where the next one will start. You just add an extra spike sticking off, and we'll thicken up. The top like that. Same thing again, back line, and then a bit of a bottom line. And then his iris, an oval, or an ellipse drawn in there. And his pupil there. And then like stress lines around his eye, because he's really stressed out. And then eyelid line, and then eyebrow. forehead line going that way. Right, so facial features. His nose is just one of those things like this. And then his mouth, just down from there, comes across. We'll make it look sad sort of for the minute, like he's like real sad. Right? But we're going to open it up and add teeth, right? So this kind of comes around like this. And then you bring the bottom lip across. Like so. And then we add some teeth, right? So you got his fang just there, his canine first. And then some like another bump, maybe a smaller one just there. Then his bottom lip line here. So that's the facial features, right? And then the chin, real pointy. Just there. And like roughly speaking, in this character, because it's a big expression, I would say. So like bottom of his nose to say his eyebrow, right? So here to here, it's about the same as here to here. So bottom of the nose to the chin, about the same as bottom of the nose to say top of his eyebrow there. So this is like halfway between here and here. And then bottom of the nose to, because his mouth is open, to like the center line for his teeth, like here to here, is about the same as here to here. Okay, so this is about halfway between here and here, and this is about halfway between here and here. Okay. So let's go for his jaw. So we go up the side of his face. That way. You're stopping normally under here and across from the mouth, okay? Because that's where you change the direction if the character has a strong jaw. Sometimes they just have round jaws. You want to stop under here and across from there, okay? So that's where you'll change direction and go up the side of his face. Right. So you're stopping just up here, and this is where his sideburns are in his ears, right? So his sideburns will go spike up kind of this way. Right, so this kind of V, right? The top of this sideburn line becomes the ear. Comes around like that. And then ear lines inside. So these kind of bone and cartilage lines. Well, there's no bones in the ear. One of you guys taught me that. There's no bones. I didn't know that. I thought there was bones in ears. But it's just cartilage and ligaments and things. So who's teaching who, huh? You or me? So then, right, so his hair, right, so he's got this sort of fringe section. So just up here, right, for his forehead, we got this V in the middle. And he's a bit of a small sort of forehead compared normally, but on average, like top of the brow to the eyebrows is the same as brows to the nose, roughly speaking. So he has like some fringe spikes, right? So this is like a center one. And then his hairline spikes will come across here. So this is another one like that. Another one here. Right, and then he's one that comes down the side of his head. There. We'll do one. So his hand comes across, covers his hair here, but we'll draw it in, and we can erase whatever we don't need, right? So some of this will be covered. Say like his hand is here somewhere. But we'll draw it in first. So in the side of his head, right? So we go up this way. And then we start to sort of stick out here. around this way, and in the center there's some that like stick out like so. Okay, that's his head, right? So as I said, there's this big massive hand, so we got to draw that, right? So the easiest place to start with a hand that's outstretched is this W palm shape that's just here, okay? So I'm going to put it just beside his ear, so just like up from it here. So we'll go, and this palm now is like bigger than his whole head. Right, so that's like the base of his hand, right? And you'll see like this part joins the thumb. So his thumb comes up here and goes across like his forehead. So you'll have to erase some lines, right? So this is the thumb. I don't know if you can see that. Right, and then we've all outstretched fingers here. So we go up the side. So we go. Comes around. So fingers usually have 3 sort of segments. So they're kind of like bumpy, kind of, you know, 3 segments on your finger, 1, 2, 3. Okay, kind of thing. And then around here, you got the base of the finger. Sometimes there's lines in here, but sometimes there isn't actually any in this. So we'll just leave it as is. And then we'll go up the other side. So we go sort of bumping as we go. And you got the webbing in between the fingers, of course. And his little finger kind of sticks out this way. So it's always tricky to draw hands. And palm of the hand, just here. And some hand lines kind of going this way. Like that, right? So big outstretched fingers, really exaggerated, sort of shapes him. And here's his thumb in here. I'll erase these lines just so you can see that a bit clearer. Okay, so now we got to connect all this up together. So we've got something that's called foreshortening here. So everything looks real sort of round and stumpy when you foreshorten something. So like, say his wrist. So this kind of curves around here. So it goes up into here, right? So, and then this will have some like lines on it like that. And then his arm bumps around, right? So real exaggerated size now. So the other side of this comes down this way. Around his shoulder there like that. And this will go down around the white part there, and that's like his back gone that way. And he has, you know, this orange line that runs down the top there. The other arm flies off back this way, right? But he's got a collar that comes around and covers the front of his neck. So it comes around from behind his ear, basically. So it comes out this way. And then comes down around to there. And we've got like a zipper or something. And then this goes back out and goes around behind his head here. Then the back of that is there. And then the inside of this, right, so he actually has some hair sticking down here as well. And his neck there. The other side of his neck will be roughly here. And we can see some hair in behind as well. So then, inside of his collar, that way, and then this curves around here. Collarbones go that way, right? And then he has this orange part on his jacket or something there. And there's some fold lines there. So his other shoulder on the other side. So say, yeah, so like side of his body here, that orange line there. So then his shoulder will go like down this way. And then his arm, kind of this arm goes off into the distance, kind of it's flinging back, so it gets real small compared to the other one. And you have these fold lines sort of just on his sleeve there like that. So a really, really small hand in here, a fist, right? So you have his top of his sleeve there. And then the top of his hand comes out. He's making a fist like this, so your thumb comes over your index, right? So it comes over like a couple of these. So let's go. We go out, down, and then out, down. And the thumb is here. So the thumb goes across this way, back in, down, around. And you have like a thumbnail there. And some folded up sort of fold lines for the wrinkles on his hand there. And then, so the fingers come out from behind the thumb, sort of here, down, in around the next one. That looks okay. Hands are tricky, even for me. This goes down. That, but I think I'm getting better at them. Right, so there you go. That's it. That's how to draw Subaru from ReZero. Hope it's helpful, Dave. Hope it wasn't too complicated post. Let me know if you want me to do it easier or harder. But there you go. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.